The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't think that there was a cartoon or a toy line that I loved more than these guys in the 80s. They were created in 1984 by comic book writer and artist team Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman, who named the four turtles after Italian Renaissance artists and published the characters' adventures in a comic book series published by Mirage Studios. These four turtles and a rat came into contact with this mutagenic ooze which transformed them into humanoid mutants. The rat, Splinter, would go on to train them in the art of ninjutsu, which he had learnt from watching his master when he was just a lowly rat. These four turtles' names were Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. All of them were sporting the original weapons that we knew from the cartoon series. Leonardo, his katana, Michelangelo, his nunchucks, Donatello, his stave, and Raphael, his sais. But one thing that was a bit different is they all had red masks. They didn't have their iconic colours which we saw in the cartoon series. This is something that changed later on, so kids watching the cartoon would be able to differentiate each of the characters from each other. Their first comic book run saw them battling the Foot and their classic foe, the Shredder. But what's interesting is Shredder was actually killed off in this series. One thing you'll realise from reading the comics is they're a little bit more brutal, a lot more violent, and very bloody. An interesting fact is that their first line of toys weren't actually action figures. They were miniature toy soldiers that you painted up and used in a role-playing game. That would change later in 1987 when they got their first cartoon series. In 1988 is when the first line of plastic action figures were released, and from there, they grew in popularity. G'day guys, this is Freaky Deaky Toys. Thanks for tuning in again. Thought I might just go over and show you a little bit of my collection of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, I still remember when I first picked up my first Ninja Turtle at the local toy store. There wasn't much to choose from. I remember we had to wait a while for them to come in, and when they did come in, I was only able to get hold of Donatello. Eventually, though, my parents did get me the rest of the Turtles. I grabbed the Foot Soldier, Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, Splinter. I think most or all of the first wave, actually. So, here is a lot of my collection that I have now. Good chunk of it is stuff that figures that I originally had as a child. Some of it I've added to over the years because I'd either lost some of the older figures or they broke, or I had lost a lot of the accessories for them. This has to be by far my favourite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure, Skateboarding Mike. I first saw him in primary school. One of the other kids was playing with him. I just fell in love with it. I thought it was awesome. How cool is he? Not long after, I remember seeing it at the shop. Mum was good enough to buy it for me, and I played with it everywhere. It was skating up walls, on rails, everything. Awesome figure. That's still the same turtle van I had as a kid. Bit dirty, a bit scuffed. Got April in there driving the van. So, we've got the Android Krang, the Sagi Yojimbo, the Punk Frogs, Metalhead. I've got Casey Jones down there about to punch on with the turtles to smash in some foot soldiers. Got Bebop, Rocksteady, the Shredder, General Krag, I think his name was. So if I got that wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. Krang and his little walker body. Baxter Stockman. Now, I never had him as a kid. Always wanted him. Absolutely loved Baxter. So I'm pretty stoked to have this guy now as an adult. The Retro Catapult. It's complete in its box. Up the back here, got Slash, Mutagen Man, and the Rat King. Slash is pretty cool. How groovy is he? He's really, really, really cool. It's going to pan out for a second, so just got a few of these other things hanging up the top here. Got some of these badges that you got at Burger King. Got them as a kid. Got some of these other badges from when I was younger. Got 2 sets of these. They're pretty groovy. Now, I really love these 2 here. I really, really want to try and get the set of these. I'd love to track down a Michelangelo and a Donatello. So, if you've got some spare out there, let me know. Leonardo. There's the Mikey one at the back there. Alright, so just pan over to here now. So I got some reissues here, just hanging out on some of the, like the bike and the cheapskate that I had as a kid. These reissues are pretty cool. It was nice to get some brand new figures that, you know, had everything, had all their accessories, nice and clean. One thing I did notice with these guys, they don't have any mold lines. They're a lot nicer quality cast. The old ones are riddled with mold lines. One thing I did notice that was different is you see Raphael there. See his colours? That's an original OG Raph there. Look at the reissue. He's a lighter green, more like a olive green. But no, it's alright. I guess it's a way to differentiate the old ones from the new. At the back there, we've got some other bits and pieces of a bike. We've got the retro ooze cannon. Now that's something I really want to try and get the set of these, or try and get another complete one, because that was something that my nan gave to me as a present, I think for Christmas and my birthday. So I'm gonna have to track down a complete one in its box there. All right, so panning up here. These are the movie star turtles. These came out when the second movie dropped. Well, I had these originally when I was a kid. These are actually the newer reissue ones. They're ever so slightly different, but they're pretty close. One thing that the new ones didn't come with, the reissue ones didn't come with, is all their accessories, like the pizza box shields, the other bits and pieces. Now, I've got most of those accessories still from when I was a kid, so I just thought I'd chuck them in there with them. Got some of the wacky turtle figures at the back there that wind it up and do some sort of action moves. But let me show you these. So these are most recent additions. These are from NECA. NECA do some amazing movie figures. Super detailed. You can do all sorts of really cool poses with these guys. How cool are they? Very lifelike. Lots of articulation. A Tolkar Razor from the Secret of the Ooze movie. It's coming out at the back there. There's Shredder. His cape's actually got some wire in it. You can actually adjust that and shape it for whatever pose that you want. It's really nice. And then we have Splinter. Splinter looks really cool. So I've actually got a Super Shredder coming for these guys. Looking forward to getting him on display. I'll have to grab some foot soldiers as well. But I hope you've enjoyed my little video. Bit of knowledge about turtles. Share a bit of their history. Can you tell me in the comments below, who was your favourite Ninja Turtle? Do you still have a lot of your turtles growing up? Did you watch the original movies? Number 1 and 2 are great. 3 sucks. But if you've enjoyed my videos so far, just make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and see what I come up with next. Cheers. Have a turtly good night.